Hey, Slater Crusaders. So I was on vacation last week, and I didn't consume any news for an entire week, and I know nothing about what's going on. I came back yesterday, and I just tuned in a little bit, and just like exploding COVID, everything. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. I got to talk to the professor, and super grateful, as always, for Professor Vincent Racaniello. He is the professor of virology at Columbia University, and he's the host of the podcast This Week in Virology. Professor, how are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Everyone at the last couple of days has been asking me what the latest on COVID is. And I was like, I don't know. I get all my information from the professor. I try not to read, truly. I try not to read much news about it because, I mean, no offense, but it's written by reporters who don't know this stuff. And you're the expert of experts. So I regret that we haven't talked for a week, but I'm glad you're here. So what have I missed? What's going on?
Well, you missed a big week. So as you know, a couple of weeks ago, we had depressed the rate of new cases here in the U.S., right, by sheltering and face masking and all that. So many states started to open up. It really all began around Memorial Day weekend when everybody went out that weekend. And then slowly after that, other states started to open, some more quickly than others. And so now what we've had is a huge increase in the number of cases diagnosed in the U.S. And, you know, there's some states that are particularly hard hit, California, Texas, Arizona, and Florida are the biggest ones. Other states like New York and the Northeast have remained low. But what it tells us, and it's what I've said all along to you, the virus doesn't go away. It's always around. So if you're not careful, it will come back. And that's exactly what's happened. Now, we haven't yet seen a big spike in the number of deaths. That's really the important part, right? And, you know, deaths always lag a few weeks behind when the outbreak increases, so maybe we'll see that in a few weeks. But here's the thing. The hospitals have really learned how to handle this illness. I speak with a clinician every week on my podcast, and this past week he said, you know, we've really learned how to deal with it so we can keep the mortality rate pretty low. But the key is, of course, not overfilling the hospitals, right? If you have more people than you have beds for, then you have a problem because people will die because they can't be admitted. So that's what we want to try and avoid. So it's good that so far the death rate hasn't increased. But other parts of the world, as you know, many countries are shooting up high infection rates, high death rates. So this virus is still ripping its way around the human population for sure. So that's what happened when you were gone.
Yeah, I'd say, geez, that's what I get for leaving. What kind of patients are hospitals better at addressing right now? Is it older or younger people or people who have it really badly or people who just have it a little bit? What do you know about that?
So as we said from the beginning of this outbreak, 80% of these infections are mild, and most of those are in people under 65 years of age. And so when you get 65 and up, you have a higher chance of getting serious disease and ending up in the hospital. And the key for that is most people end up in the hospital when they can't catch their breath. They've had the infection for a while. It's been not a big deal, but all of a sudden they can't breathe. So they go to the hospital, and then it can be downhill from there. You know, they may put you on a ventilator, but we have learned how to take care of them. So first of all, a technique called proning. Instead of lying on the back in the hospital bed, they put you on your belly, and that helps your lungs to function a little better. We have remdesivir, which can help if you're seriously ill. Dexamethasone, a steroid, found to really help this immune storm later in infection. And then, of course, antibodies to the IL-6 receptor. So all these things. Oh, and another one, anti-clotting medicine. So a lot of people develop blood clots, and they have found that treating them with anticoagulants can really help. So those are kind of some of the things we've learned, and it really helps the seriously ill people to survive. That's all we care about. Everyone else, mild illness, doesn't really matter.
Slater Crusaders, thanks for watching the first on YouTube. If you want more, like, subscribe. We got plenty.